Good day everyone, this is Colin, the commander of Deep Sea Devils, and in this video I will be explaining the mechanics for the first two maps in the Vigrid Avenge, specifically Ruinscape and the Vigrid Field. So for the Vigrid Field, only the elite parties will be able to join, same parties as the Guild League. So a total of 40 members will be allowed inside the Vigrid Field, and then in the Ruinscape, I'm not sure if there is a limit, but it's the same mechanics as the Vigrid Field. And if you're familiar with Vigrid Field, you can go Ruinscape instead, since earning personal points in the Ruinscape is much faster than the Felans, which is the third map. So the main objective of the Vigrid Field is for your guild to hold the Gajalar Horn or the White Valkyrie until the event ends. So points doesn't matter in the Vigrid Field. It will only matter if your guild is not holding the horn. And that will be the deciding factor if you're going to be ranked second, third, or fourth. However, even if you don't have points, as long as your guild is holding the horn, the White Valkyrie, your team will still be considered the champion for the current Vigrid Avenge event. Okay, so first is how can we get the horn? For your guild to get the horn, you must kill one of the fallen angels during the start of the game. That's the fallen angels. So the first guild to kill the fallen angel will be able to get the horn. So whoever guild member will land the last hit for the fallen angel, they will be transformed into the White Valkyrie. They will be holding the horn, and then the main objective, if you have the horn, is to transfer from one altar to another. This one. Actually, there's 8, total of 2 per corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the main objective for the horn holder is to transfer from altar to altar. Because if the horn user was not able to interact with any of the altar for 60 seconds, if they're not able to interact with any altar, they will lose 10% of their HP every 5 seconds. And you can only disable this effect by interacting with one of the altars. However, each altar has its own cooldown. I think 2 minutes. I'm not sure if it's 2 minutes, but it's long enough to activate the curse given to the horn. So once you interact with one altar, you need to transfer from one altar to another. Like the best spot actually for interacting with the altars is not interacting at the same corner twice. So if you interact with this one, the best way is to go here. And then after this one, best way is to go here. And then so on and so forth. So the best way to interact with the altar is by going clockwise in the map. Okay, so that would be the main reason, the main objective for the horn. And then if your guild was not able to capture the horn at the very early phase of the game, then the only way to get the horn from the opposing guild is by killing it directly or stopping them from interacting with one of the altars. For example, since there is no Tergab yet, there's no way to CC the Valkyrie or the horn user. And then I think the only way to CC them is by using grab field from highways to slow them down, or lunatic from Dorum, which can stun them. So that's the best way to stop them from interacting with altars. So once Tergab is released, most of the support wanderers actually they have the what you call bewitch, which can bewitch the enemy horn or the White Valkyrie and can stop them from moving. So that's two ways if your guild was not able to get the horn, kill it or try to stop them from interacting with another altar. And then to kill the White Valkyrie or the horn user, there is actually monsters or other factors that can help you. So first one is the elementals, which is located at the middle of the map. So these elementals, these are altars that you can interact with. They also have the same cooldown time map, You can actually see the cooldown time here during the guild Vigrid event. So there's a lot of 4 elementals, the Fenrir, and I think the Undead Spirit. Yeah, so there are different mobs that can help you gain advantage in the battlefield. So first one is the elementals. For you to get elemental powers, you just need to interact with them once they're up, and then once you interact with them, a button to transform will be released here in this part of your screen. So once you click that, you'll be able to transfer on the elemental power you interact with. So if you interact with fire, you will become the fire elemental. I mean, this is earth. This is fire. Water, wind, and then earth. So each of them has their own powers. And as of now, I haven't tried everything. So I think the best one is the fire. If you want damage for the guild, best one is the fire. And if you want CC, best one is the water and the earth. Oh, no, water and the wind. These two for the CC. So next one is the Fenrir. Fenrir will spawn at the very middle, very center of the map. Yeah, this will look like it. Garm. It will spawn at the center of the map, and killing the Fenrir will give your team advantage to kill the Horn. Since once you kill the Fenrir or the Garm in the center of the map, the last hitter will be able to transform into what we call the Incarnation or the Stormy Knight. The Stormy Knight has a higher advantage in killing the Horn since it can instantly deal high damage. Aside from its AoE skill, is that it's the only way to deal high damage by facing head on. Kasi the Stormy Knight is actually really tanky, but it will still based on the holder's HP. So better if the one who can last hit it is the one with the high HP. Like a Paladin, Rune Knight, those two. And then it's actually important to take note of this center because all the benefits you can gain from here, you can use it to your advantage. If your team does not hold the horn, you can use the Fenrir and the elementals to kill the Valkyrie, the White Valkyrie, or to wipe out the guild members from the opposing guild. Or if your team is holding the horn, you can use the elementals or the Fenrir to defend your White Valkyrie. Since like I said, Fenrir deals high damage to the Stormy Knight deals high damage to the White Valkyrie. So if your team was able to get the Stormy Knight, then your team can avoid the Horn getting killed. Okay, so aside from these four, there is what we call the Divine Realm Sage. Divine Realm Sage will appear at a random location. However, below the minimap, there is actually a clue given from north, south, east, and west. So there's four different directions, and then it will include there if one has spawned, two, or nothing has spawned in that direction of the map. So if the map is saying is, it will be here, as in full east. Not I think it's not included. This one, the center is not included. So east, west, same like this from altar to altar, and then south, altar to altar, and then north. So for different direction, and then it will include how many elders had been spawned. So once you interact with the elder, it will look like an NPC with a yellow name. Once you interact with it, you can be transformed into two different types. First one is the Vamporing. Vamporing has a high HP. They will deal massive damage if you click their skill, which is the ticking time bomb. So once you click it, I think the Vamporing will explode after 5 seconds. Or if they get killed, as long as you press the button or the skill button, then your Vamporing will explode regardless if it's killed or when the time ends. So if your Vamporing was killed beforehand, before reaching the Valkyrie, then it will not deal any damage since the main purpose of Vamporing is to get to the Valkyrie So once it's explode, it can deal high damage. I think the Vamporing will deal damage based on the user's HP, same as the Fenrir, the Stormy Knight. The higher the HP of the Lasiter, the higher the HP of the transformation. So same with Vamporing, the damage of the Vamporing will rely on the HP of the holder. So higher HP means higher damage. So if you're getting less HP, if you're getting damage while going to the Valkyrie, then that means you will deal lower damage to the Valkyrie. However, if you were able to successfully explode with around 50%, I think it's already enough to bring the Valkyrie to 30%, from 100 to 30% HP. That's the good thing about Vamporing. And then another thing is that you can also use this Vamporing to last hit the Fenrir. So aside from the Valkyrie, you can also use this to last hit the Fenrir, and then your team will get the Fenrir, which then you can use to fight the White Valkyrie or the Gjallarhorn. And then the next transformation available is the Assassin. The Assassin is actually way better than the Vamporing, since the Assassin is permanently invisible. So without any skill, as long as it's alive, it will stay invisible and will only be detected by using detection skills or Maya purple cards. So it will always stay invisible, and the good thing about the Assassin is that one hit always. Its dash skill is one hit always. However, the cons is that you can only use it once. Same as the Vamporing, you can only use it once. Once you died, it will disappear. But the good thing about the Assassin is that it can one hit anything, and when I say anything, I mean anything, including the Fenrir, the White Valkyrie, the Horn user, and the other stuffs like the elemental users, like that. However, the cons of this assassin is that its skill attack is a dash skill. So if you're the assassin standing here, the Horn user is here, and then there's a person standing in front of the Valkyrie. So regardless if you aim at the Valkyrie, if there's someone or a player standing between you, then you will kill the player instead of the Valkyrie. So that's the only cons of the assassin. It will hit whoever it hits first. But it can one hit anything. So actually you can use this to turn the tide around. For example, let's say that there's only 1 minute left, and then your team was able to get two to three assassin. Then there's a chance that you will be able to last hit the Valkyrie. And then once you get the Valkyrie, you can teleport. You can use the teleport skill and then transfer the guild members. That's one of the way to turn the tide around. That's why the Elder, the Divine Realm Sage, is important, since you can use it to last hit the enemy's Valkyrie. And then another thing is that there are also undead spirit. Aside from the elementals, the Fenrir, and the Divine Realm, there is also what we call the undead spirit. It looks like Dracula. Yep, this one. Same just like the elemental spirit, however, the only way to get it is by killing it. It will appear randomly at the map with a skull logo, also color green like this one, but with a skull logo. So same like the elementals, it will give you advantage to your guild, and then you can use it also to defeat the Gjallarhorn or the other members of the guild. So that's the mechanics of the first and second map of the Vigrid Avenge. And then for the Felons, I will try to discuss the mechanics for the Felons in a different video. So I hope you guys learned something. Thank you, and then have fun.